Hey guys, it's Randi here for the Carpool Convo. I am having a hard time seeing because I'm in my son's car. My brand new car that I bought at the end of September is in the shop again. So I'm saying it. Don't buy a Volvo, whatever, their SUV Volvo with the third row. I love how it drives. It's a great third row. It is always in the shop. I'm so annoyed with that car. I know, it's so annoying. Anyway, so they had to come and tow it for me today because there's a problem with the airbag and a sign. Anyway, whatever. So luckily Alex at college and he doesn't have his car, so I have Alex's car, and so I've got a little bit of a different setup. Is the glare bothering you guys at all? Because I'm kind of having a hard time seeing it. I have the phone like propped up. Okay, so yeah, if the glare's bothering you guys or you can't hear me, just let me know. Write me a little message and let me know. So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about, okay, the glare's not bothering you. Okay. I want to talk about something that I say, and I've said a lot of times, and I have like a little meme made up, and, I learned it from somebody else. Okay, good. Thank you. So the saying is, you're only as happy as your unhappiest child. Like as a mom, you're only as happy as your unhappiest child. And I've written blog posts, I've made memes. I just recently put it as like step 1 in the workbook that I created to go along with that 5 days of, the biggest parenting mistakes and their remedies. And so I love that saying. But I got an interesting email the other day from someone who totally misinterpreted what I meant by it. And I thought it was interesting. Like I don't know. I haven't even totally processed it, but I kind of just wanted to talk about it here and hear what you guys have to say about it and kind of tell you what I mean by it. So I got some emails the other day. It was like, I got a couple of text messages from clients basically telling me just like, really positive updates and how much, the work we were doing together was working for them. Like literally like some really, night and day differences that were happening. And then I get this email from this woman who has kind of been a regular. She came to a workshop. I really liked her. I could tell she was super sweet. She came to all the free coaching calls I did in December. And I thought she was going to sign up for my current Conscious Parent Mastery course, and she didn't. And so I even coached her live, I think, on one of the coaching calls in December. So anyway, I get an email from her, and she says, I have been holding back, but I just can't hold back any longer. That thing you say about only being as happy as she said, as your saddest child, but I say as happy as your unhappiest child. She said, number 1, it's incorrect, and number 2, it's damaging. And I was like, wow. So then she went on to tell me that the way she interpreted it is that she comes from a very narcissistic mother. That's who she was raised by. And her mother used to say this to her and her siblings all the time. And she would say, I guess the mom would say, I'm only as happy as my unhappiest child. So she would say that to her kids. And her kids got all this pressure to do this pretend happy thing. Like they were responsible for their mom's current emotional state. And so this woman who was very triggered by this meme that I've put out there, she's like, she thought that it was so triggering for her. She thought that I was telling you guys to go and tell your kids, hey, I'm only as happy as my unhappiest child, so happy it up for me. You're responsible for my emotional state. I need you guys to happy it up. And so she was telling me that if she could save one child from this pressure, she had to reach out to me to put a stop to this message. And I totally appreciated her perspective, and it got me to thinking, now that's not what I meant by it. And I explained that to her. I don't feel like it's ever a child's responsibility to be, in charge of a parent's emotional state. Like whenever I hear parents say, oh, well, they push my buttons and, they force me to yell at them. They just won't listen until I finally go to that place. And the deal is that your kids are not in charge of your emotional state. You're in charge of your emotional state. You're in charge of how you choose to respond or react to the way to their behavior. You're in charge of, if they push your buttons, you're in charge of being an emotional adult and realizing what buttons they're pushing and why, and how to stay in control of your own behavior so that you can model calm, cool, collected behavior for your kids and teach them that kind of out of control, meltdown type behavior is not acceptable. So our kids don't push our buttons and cause us to act any way. We are in charge of how we act. And so first and foremost, that's what I explained to this woman is I would never, ever, ever want a parent going and telling their kids, hey, look at this meme. I'm only as happy as my unhappiest child, so happy it on up for me. I was saying that to parents basically as a way to let you guys know, like a lot of parents that come to me, even though I don't publicize this, it seems like a lot of parents that come to me, they have kind of one child that is a little more challenging. And they'll, and my point is even if you have two other kids that are super easy and well-adjusted and cooperate and listen, that's all well and good, but you're ultimately only going to be as happy as your unhappiest child. So investigate what's going on there. Attack that situation and figure out what you need to do to change that dynamic. Even when everybody else seems okay, you gotta go to the person in the family that needs you the most and give them the support that they're letting you know they need, because any child that's behaving and doing these misbehaviors that lets you know that they're unhappy, that's just their way of saying, hey mom, this is how I feel on the inside, not really sure how to communicate it effectively, need your help. That's what misbehavior means. So when kids are acting, unhappy and miserable and irritable and constantly showing us all of these misbehaviors, they're just saying, I really need your help and I don't know how to communicate it to you in a more productive way. So please, mom, or dad, be the emotional adult that I need you to be. Don't take my behavior personally and help me attack this problem and get to a better place. So that was my point, is that your kids aren't responsible for making you happy. When they show you that unhappy behavior, you're responsible for going and supporting them and figuring out what's going on for them as the parent, because that's what they need us to do in those situations. But so often we get triggered and then we attack back, and it just becomes this vicious cycle where there's just this tension in the household. And so that unhappiest child is running the show because everybody's getting drawn into that kind of, miserable dynamic. And I say, no, investigate it and get to the root of what's going on. So yeah, I guess I felt the need to talk about this and process it, because when I got the email from the woman, and I said to her, she had said that because her mom constantly put this pressure, hey, it's up to you guys to make me a happy mother. So I need you guys to be happy, because her mom put that pressure on her and her siblings. She said, we're all people pleasers, and we've really worked hard to recover from that. And we've forgiven our mom. She's like, I've forgiven my mom for the most part, because I know she just, she did what she knew how to do. She didn't know how to do it. I mean, it sounded like she'd had some good therapy. But I knew by her explaining that she was a people pleaser, it was a big deal for her to reach out to me and to say, hey, this message is not only incorrect, it's also damaging. Like, wow, like she really was triggered by it, and she really misunderstood what I meant by it. So I guess I feel the need to clarify what I mean by the whole, you're only as happy as your unhappiest child. It's never, ever, ever to put that pressure on your children to make you happy. It's about you stepping up as the adult and figuring it out. Let's see. Takes a lot of practice. All of this takes a lot of practice because most of us, I don't know anyone that was raised this way. It all takes practice. None of it, what I hand out, and this has kind of been a theme today in the interactions I've had with different parents and the conversations I've had with different parents. Everything I teach, it's, even like the tools and the monkey tricks, none of it works unless you understand the larger concepts. None of it does. It all takes practice. That's why I say it constantly to my to the Conscious Parent Mastery students that I'm working with right now. I say, mastery, repetition, repetition, repetition builds mastery. It's all about practicing. And luckily, our kids give us so many opportunities once we start learning these concepts to practice over and over and over again. And so you do build mastery pretty quickly once you invest and commit, but none of it just comes naturally. And it's funny, like I've had some pushback from some people recently who they're like, well, my kid's not, this tool doesn't work, and this tool doesn't work, and this tool doesn't work. But the deal is that they're just trying to constantly band-aid the problems, and you really have to understand these bigger concepts. And the bigger concepts are how to be an assertive leader, how to say things to your kids in a way where you really understand what's going on with them developmentally, how to take their perspective into consideration. Like, these are bigger concepts, and it challenges the way, we're thinking, or the way we're thinking about it. That's why I put so much free content out, and why I'm doing so many of these carpool conversations, plus my blog posts, and I've been real active in a couple of different kind of public parenting Facebook groups in, doling out some free advice, and getting on some free coaching calls with people, just giving advice, parents that are like, tell me what sticker chart works for you. And one of them, this one parenting thing, I had to chime in because this mom who was like the most vocal one in the whole group was talking about all the benefits of spanking. So I had to chime in on that one. But I put all this free content out there because these concepts are, this is a new way of parenting. This is a new way of thinking. And I think it's going to take hearing this over and over and over again to really understand it and to be able to practice it to build mastery. And I think the more of us that are a part of this movement and a part of this conversation, it's just going to catch on. It's just going to catch on, and more and more and more people are going to be doing it. And I like to speak about it in common, regular language, not in, this language that I like I love. There's a couple of the mentors that I learned from. Like, I love Dr. Shefali. I don't know if any of you have ever heard anything by her, but she's awesome. I love her. She's this beautiful Indian woman. She's one of Oprah's people. She speaks so eloquently. But sometimes the language that she uses, I think it's hard sometimes for regular parents that are like in the trenches dealing with 3-year-old meltdowns and pushback and power struggles. I think a lot of times it can be hard to relate to. And it's almost like I feel like I'm like the appetizer to her. I want to show you guys like how these kind of larger theories and concepts play out like for real when you're in the trenches. This process has been working wonders for our family. Yes, I know. This process, really, honestly, I have been getting so much positive feedback from so many of the parents I'm working with right now that I know I plan to offer this Conscious Parent Mastery group just a couple of times a year. And what I'm learning every day, because more and more people are coming to me wanting it, is that I'm going to have to offer it probably like every other month because there's a need for it. There's just a real need for it. Same here. Yeah, thank you guys. Like all the people in my group are chiming in. We don't want the course to end. Well, you know what? Everybody in the course, I do have a private Facebook group for anybody that has taken the course or taken the course as a private client. And I am going to continue to give you guys access to that private Facebook group. So anytime you sign up for the group course or for the course privately with me, you will continue to have private access. And as you guys know who are in the private group, I post a lot of personal videos like me and my kids. In fact, I think I'm going to have my daughter do one, maybe if she'll agree to it, this week for you guys. But I post a lot of what's going on for me privately in this group, and I'm going to continue to give you guys access to that forever, because I know that y'all are building so much positive momentum and you want to stay with it, and I want to support you guys. Oh, thank you. Looking forward to the next course. I'm looking forward to having you in the next course, and I'm going to put the dates and all that stuff together soon and let you guys know when it is, because I truly am having such a blast, more than I ever thought, doing the course and getting to know everyone. And today I sent some emails out to a couple of the husbands that were a little behind, so I'm playing the bad cop role, and that's fun for me too. I'm happy to do it. To support my fellow mamas. And yeah, so I'm having a really good time with it. I love you guys for being here and being a part of this conversation. Give me some hearts. Let me know if today resonated at all. And I've got a bunch of today was a very big kind of development day for me. I wrote a lot of ideas down. And so I'm going to have some really good topics coming up for you guys this week and next. This Friday's a little iffy because I'm going out of town for my son's birthday, and I think I'm going to get to the Carpool Convo, but it might be, I don't know, it might be a Carpool Convo done at the airport. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Thanks for being here. Have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.